I've been told so many times from just our podcast life that how much people love my voice and that I should be a phone sex operator. I am so flattered because
tell your father that is
awful.
Offensive.
Well, don't tell my dad, but like I think it's amazing.
It
because
is amazing.
Usually it's the opposite with my voice. So it's something about the headphones. It's like I can hear myself and control it, and I actually like think my voice sounds better.
Honestly,
on here.
it is so much easier for some reason to speak when you have headphones on
really
because you
is.
feel like you know what it sounds like,
right?
As opposed to when I like go through a drive-through and I order the food and then he says, "Thank you, ma'am, pull around," and then I get up to the window and inevitably every single time the person is like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and I'm like, "It is okay. It happened yesterday and it was you again."
Oh my gosh.
I am not offended by that. Welcome to Orange Country. I feel like we're already off and running.
Like usual, because we can never shut up.
Yeah.
But I am Gina and this is Shane.
Hello.
And you are listening to Orange Country.
Wherever you listen to podcasts and brilliant people.
Like ourselves. Don't forget to subscribe and follow.
Yeah. So speaking of following and followers.
Yes.
And
do you ever get,
wait,
let me ask you this. When you pull around to the fast food window, do you ever get recognized?
I don't know that I ever have.
Do you ever do you believe in that like level system, that celebrity A-list, B-list, C-list, D-list?
I mean, if there is a level, I'm a very low one. But not,
that's how I feel too, actually. I feel
not to people that are in my circle, in my tight world, like
right. They love to claim you.
Yeah, it's funny too because that's a very uncomfortable thing. I feel like I'm always apologizing for it. Like if somebody makes a big deal about that or says that I'm a celebrity, I'm saying no, I'm definitely not a celebrity.
Right.
And sometimes that actually that can even make people feel funny because where I'm from, that people are like, well, you are to us. I mean, it's like, I've never been on TV. I've never been,
They're proud of you.
Yeah, exactly.
They're proud of you. Yeah, that's what, I get so much love from Long Island.
Yeah.
And I feel so proud that where I'm from, Long Island, and specifically even my own town, North Babylon, New York, it's a small town. And the fact that people from like my hometown reach out to me to tell me like they're so excited and proud of me, and even like people that I went to high school with, it really means a lot to me. And that I love. I feel very good about claiming that. But then in the bigger picture, I'm like, I'm not a celebrity.
Well, it's hard to not do that part and not realize that people can actually that can hurt someone's feelings. I've noticed when I play down them making a big deal, because actually I just had my high school reunion last weekend.
Oh, wow.
And I was there and a lot has happened for me since I've seen these people. And they're so, at first they have this funny thing of like, could we take a picture? And I'm just like, first of all, I would take a picture with you. I want us to take a picture because we hadn't seen each other in so
friends.
long.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And then, but you, at the same time, you don't want to almost knock somebody for going, well, I'm not famous. That's stupid. Because the truth is,
they look
in
at
their world, they're
yeah.
super proud and they claim me.
And they're excited by it. It's exciting.
It's really, honestly, I have to tell you, I had more emotional, sweet, genuine moments with people.
I love that.
Because for one, what I love, I'm from a small town in Texas. I have become somewhat of the like poster child in that town for people my age that have kids that are gay.
Oh,
because
that's so nice. I love that.
It is. So many of them come to me and go, my son is gay, and I get to tell him, look, I grew up with Shane.
Right.
He didn't have the opportunity to come out in high school.
Right.
He wasn't of a time or a world where that was okay.
Or safe.
Exactly. And so I had more friends tell me about their gay children or their trans kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so proud of the people that I grew up with that I would never have imagined having the open minds, because they didn't have access. We didn't know anyone,
Mm-hmm.
And so when they're telling me, this one girl that I grew up with, she showed me a picture of her daughter's wedding, and I just was her wedding to a woman. And I was just like, I don't know if I could have imagined when I was 18 and how scared I was that anybody would think I was gay. Being able to look at her and go, you know what? I'm going to see you in 30 years and you're going to show me a picture of your gay daughter's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to have this moment of
commonality.
Yes. And so anyway,
you know what though, Shane, that's what you did for a lot of people, but in particular, if you're looking at it like your hometown and the way you're describing it, it is a big deal what you did. Getting up, getting out, being successful, not giving up in the times where you got in your own way a bit, right? And keep going. If everybody in your town at your time, there's more than just you who was gay, I'm imagining came out of that high school, right? But if you were all clunkers, then maybe they wouldn't be as, I'm being honest, maybe they wouldn't have been as open-minded. You did something to show everybody success makes people excited and happy and
it's a dream.
Positive.
It's a dream.
Positive. Right. And you gave people and asked something to aspire to. It's a dream and you set the bar and you happen to be gay.
Right.
And that is really good for that particular cause. You know, you are who you are.
It wasn't intentional.
But
what
that's what's so beautiful about it.
They get to tell their kids
incredibly helpful,
who feel like they have that this is a hindrance,
right?
That they're not going to be able to do whatever it is they want to do. And these people that I grew up with get to tell their kids, you can do anything,
right?
My friend that you would never have imagined would have gone into country music,
right?
This, certainly.
And now they don't have to get in their own heads, in their own way, and hold themselves back from the beginning.
No limits.
You took the limits off of that.
Well,
and that's a really important, beautiful thing because life is life for everybody. And the things that hold you down and hold you back from becoming who you really are. And you took away one of those obstacles in those kids' way. And that is freaking major.
But thank you for that. And you really
it's
are
true
making me emotional.
Because the children, I believe it so strongly about the kids. We're all so pure and so innocent when we go into life. And it's the other people around us that mold us and kind of determine outcomes there a bit. And you took something off of them. And it's one more step to them actually just getting to be who they are. And at the end of the day, everybody should just get to the right to be who they are.
Yeah. Well, and also I have to just applaud the people around them because their parents have chosen to use that as an example. And that's big.
It is.
And
changing minds.
But with that said, that of course is such an amazing little.
I feel so good right now.
Me too. But what the other side of that is the going and people thinking that you're famous when when you leave there and you go back to like what I consider like maybe the real world where people really don't
give a shit,
care.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times when we've posted stuff of our clips, people love to be like, never heard of them. It's like, well, what difference does that make? I mean, it's like, I'm not claiming that.
Right.
It's just, that's
well,
people.
It's kind of cool now. TikTok, I think that's a pretty cool platform because it gives people who don't naturally have these opportunities, like are on a big network or, supported by a big machine of fame. They get the opportunity to just be seen and heard for the content and the people, what they put out. That's pretty cool.
But tell me, this character I'm about to describe. This person, I've even talked to some of my country music friends that are famous in that world. You might not would know them, but in their world they're famous and that
I know a lot of them. I'm learning a lot.
You're learning.
I'm learning. I really am.
We've discussed this character that is the contrarian, and it's this person that I know you've met this person. It's if someone in their friend group is impressed, like, oh my God, there's Gina.
Did you hear?
I heard your belly. You okay?
I don't know what's happening. I'm saying this trail mix. Carry on. Always doing something.
So, okay, I'll give you an example. One time we were on this cruise, okay? And it had a casino in it.
Okay, fun.
This was right after I was on a show called Songland on NBC. It had just come out. I had not been recognized. It was brand new. And we were playing blackjack at a table. And this guy goes, oh my God, you are on a TV show. He goes, you're this songwriter's show. And I was like, Yeah.
That is awesome.
And I said to him, I go, I have to be honest with you, no one has noticed me. That really is fun to me that you recognize me. Well, there's this woman on the other side of him who has to make sure to let me know and everyone else know she has never heard of me.
Oh, people do that all the time.
Right?
Oh, you don't know the amount of people that are
Why do they
speaking to me that have to let me
Make sure you know
that they've never watched the show before. It like multiple times in one conversation.
Yeah.
Most of the people too, they have watched the show.
Absolutely.
But for some reason, it's like a complex. Like I need to let her know, like you ain't that cool, girl. You know, and I'm like, I'm not even putting that out there. You know,
it is a character that there are a ton of these people who have to do this. They do it in different ways, but they have to make sure that you know, which makes them look ridiculous. Because of course, this happened to me a lot at when Shucked opened on Broadway, and people would come up and have someone with them, and the person would be like, "Oh my God, like I love what you do. This is so fun getting to see this." And there's always that person next to him going, "What did you do?
Right?
What'd you do?" And then he's like, "Oh, he wrote the songs," and they'll go, "Oh, you did what? You did the music?" But it's like so rude.
Yeah.
Like I have to make sure you know you are not that cool.
Right. I got to just knock you down a peg.
Yeah.
From the gate.
And I'm just like, I'm okay.
I don't think I'm cool.
And I didn't think you knew who I was.
Right. I actually like when people don't know who I am, I struggle with that a little bit, social anxiety a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, because it's a weird, I don't know what it is. It's just a weird feeling that people already know and they're looking at you and thinking whatever they're thinking, good, bad, or indifferent. I just feel like a little bit of a spectacle. But I'll tell you what was a healthy reminder actually happened in Manhattan. This last little stint I just did, because I was walking on the streets. I was actually with Marissa, and we're walking shopping or whatever. And we passed this huge crowd, and we literally had to stop. And we were like, what is everybody? They're literally, these people are like frothing at the mouth, looking at something. We're like, what is going on? It was a group of Swifties.
Oh.
So they're like people who are so obsessed with Taylor Swift that they will wait. She went in this building, and apparently, I'm telling you, first of all, number one, I was so excited by the whole thing that I almost became a Swiftie myself.
I know. I was
like, I feel this energy, and I might be here for this, and this might be my new, just swept right up, and this is it. I'm in this cult now,
yes,
and I'm just going to stalk Taylor Swift professionally, you know. So that was very exciting, but also, first of all, side note, she never came out of that building. Those people were waiting there until like 10 o'clock at night, and this was like 12 noon, and
she never came out.
She went out a back door. She went in a back door. So I felt very bad for them, because that is a commitment where they deserve a picture. But also, none of those people gave a shit about who I was.
Right.
And I was like, this is where you know the level of like what that is versus what this is. But I think it's really important. And actually, I liked that. Like I like feeling my anonymity sometimes. And it feels good, which is also why I was like, I think I'm home. I think I'm a Swiftie now.
This is right. Well, there's definitely those moments where you'll be in a situation like that, where if there is a person that recognizes you, they're almost like, "Oh wait, are you a Swiftie too?"
Right? They're like, "Wait a minute,
we're the same." So I
my gosh,
I have a story that is sort of like that. That's very humbling, but anyway, here it is. So we went to Disney a few years ago, and we did the VIP thing where, you know, you get taken around, and that you get fast pass the whole time, but someone like gets you through the fast pass line.
That's amazing. And you have to get me figure that out, because it
is it's almost a drug you don't want to take, because I guarantee you will never go.
I'll take 5
a different way.
It's like Heather taking me on the private jet.
Yeah,
now I'm in economy.
Really?
Like, what the fuck?
And you don't have to go through security. That's the private jet thing that I love. Okay, so we did this VIP thing. Well, I had done this before with Kelly Clarkson. Okay, so when we did it with Kelly, it was in through the exit door. I mean, you were so
super VIP.
Yes, exactly. Super.
You're basically VIP. Mickey Mouse.
So when I did it, we paid for it, and I know I paid the same as her, but when we're doing it, it's not what she got. So I was like, So we're walking around, and I finally just said to that guy, I was like, so we've done this before, but it was different.
Yeah, because she's better than you.
Yeah. He goes, well, what do you mean? And I said, well,
You're
like,
not Kelly Clarkson.
we went into the exits. We did all this. And he kind of looked at me like he did not know what I was talking about. I'm like, well, we were with Kelly Clarkson. And he goes, yeah, well, that's high profile. So see, we do that so that if people are, if they're getting people are asking for autographs, interrupting their day. Okay. So I was like, okay, well, of course I'm not going to at that moment be like, well, I was on a TV show.
Right.
So because it would
famous too.
look real stupid. So we're walking later in the day and someone comes up to me. This is rare, but somebody did come up to me and say, oh my God, I love your show. Can I take a picture with you? Well, the guide saw this and said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were a celebrity.
That was perfect.
Okay.
I love that happened.
So wait, this gets better. So I said, well, yeah, so I am. So what now?
That was like all your street cred right there.
And he goes, well, there's this other thing that, the high profile people, but that having one person come up to you isn't really enough.
That's not going to do it.
So I went to the bathroom and paid this guy $40 to come up to me later. I'm kidding. I didn't.
My God. You're like, what's the quota then?
Well, I did.
How many people do I need?
How many people need to come up to me? So anyway,
that's incredible.
I
wish you did that.
I'll tell you what I did do though for the rest of the day. I took my hat off and took my sunglasses off and I was just looking around like trying to get people to look at me. Nobody ever did. It never happened again.
You're like, Shane McAnally rides the roller coasters.
Yes. And they're like, McAnally? Who's that? So anyway, it did not happen again, but listen to this. This is where, I let it go. I gave it away. I said, you know what? It's okay. That's silly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we just booked one of these tours for my niece's birthday that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And the person who took the call recognized my name and said, oh, he's high profile. So he'll be in the high profile. And I was like, look at that.
It is really nice. Like, I'll be honest, I like getting free shit and nice perks. That's actually like it is very nice. That's like a nice part.
You know what I say about
a minimal amount of celebrity.
I think the difference in what happens is if people get famous, especially young or rich, I think what happens is it's taken too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So people who desire it and people who chase it and people who think it's going to fix them, it can ultimately really destroy them. What I have seen it as fun.
It's like fun.
It's fun.
When you're not
like,
addicted to it.
Yeah. And even having famous friends.
Yeah.
Like if I always when I'm around someone who's legitimately famous.
Yeah.
I'd have to just smile with them and go, is this not so weird?
It is weird. I know.
And Kelly's a good example of like the moments, which Kelly is hardly ever recognized because she's so incognito. Well, she doesn't wear makeup.
Oh, so I see.
She really looks different.
Okay.
Because she admits that. She just doesn't wear makeup out. She'll wear a ball cap low.
That is super interesting.
And Kelly is also, she is deceivingly small.
Okay.
So people are not, she is a small person.
Okay.
You know what I mean? She's short. She's just, she can move in and out of situations. And I think people think she's bigger than she is.
Yeah, that always happens.
And then you also add the hair, the clothes, the makeup. Nobody's looking for this woman. You know what I mean?
Right.
They think she's going to look different. But even other friends that I have that I just like when my famous friends sort of acknowledge how silly it is.
It is silly. I know. I feel the same way. I mean, I'm not obviously not that level, so I even feel ridiculous like getting in this arena on this conversation. But I mean, I do get recognized. Honestly, get recognized more for my voice. People will hear me before they see me. Yeah, especially when I'm not in New York or Long Island because I really stand out. Even like on the flight home, the flight attendant, I ride on like I'm under the radar, and then he was like, "Oh my God, I didn't know that was you until you ordered a cup of coffee." And then people, so a lot, or I'll be in like the store and there'll be an aisle over and they'll be like swing around. They'll be like, "I knew that was you because my voice." Yeah, and I stand out when I'm not in New York.
Don't you think because the show I was on that was, not near as seen or as long as the show you've been on, but because they were shows where we're being ourselves, don't you think that gives people more of a license to approach you?
Well, I think that I, in particular, give people more of a license to approach you because on my particular show, I'm the relatable one and they see me as approachable. And I've been told that before. And I am approachable. Like it is really nice. I'm never mad when someone comes up to me.
I always tell people that when people say, I don't want to bother you. Now, look, if I'm sitting there having a meal with my kids and trying to like calm them down, I don't really want to be stopped.
Yeah.
And there have been moments where but 95% of the time I say, do you know how nice it is for you to say something to me?
And they always say such nice stuff. It's never a problem for me to stop and let you tell me how great I am.
And it's usually
never a problem.
I love
It's really not. So thank you. Because in 5 seconds, I just got stopped and told, I love you. You are so beautiful. We love you on the show. Even heavier, you're the reason I got through whatever bad time I was going through or whatever. How is that ever a bad thing?
Say it the way you just said it. I always have time.
It is. I always have time for someone to stop me and tell me how great I am.
Which, by the way, is and I bet you do it to people too.
I tell them.
Because I just mean anyone, even if it's just someone behind a counter who's like has a great smile. I'm constantly, because of people saying things to me and I know how it makes me feel.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I'm going to make you feel like a celebrity today.
Yeah, exactly.
Because everybody deserves to feel like that.
And if I see a celebrity, if it's somebody, especially someone from like a reality show that I love or something, I will always say, I love you. I think you're, and most of the time they don't know me. So, but it's nice to say to people, but God, I have to tell you, there's been a couple of reality moments. I saw Nene in Vegas once, and boy, it wasn't that she wasn't nice. It was just that she did not want to be bothered, and maybe it was she was having a moment.
Yeah,
look, I don't want,
which people do, but some people have more moment than other.
Let me make that very clear. Huge fan, but
you sound scared.
I'm slightly. She has a way of.
I'd be scared. Yeah,
but anyway, I think that what you just said was, it really made me smile because,
that's what we're talking about at the end of the day, right? You're talking about people. It's a popularity contest.
Yeah.
Fame is a popularity contest.
And who cares if we're at the C-level table?
Right. It doesn't matter.
It's still really fun.
It's still like I have a certain level of popularity where people want to sit with me or talk to me and tell me I'm great and how awesome I am. And that's great.
I wanted to know you.
But and you can't, and I don't, but the thing is you can't let it get to your head and you can't make it a real thing. It's not really real. No. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, even what you see on TV, a lot of times that's not even really the reality or whatever, but who cares? I feel like as long as you approach it like it's fun and light and these people want to interact and you can make their day, you take the picture with them, they go home, they could tell all their friends, oh my God, I saw Gina, she was so cool, I took a picture with her. That makes me feel good. You
know why that makes you feel good? Because if you're anything like me, I know how it has felt, especially when I was younger, if I met someone that I held in high esteem and they were fun. I can't wait to go tell people like,
it's awesome.
When I first met Dolly Parton, I couldn't wait to tell the world that she's exactly what you think.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know. And that means a lot. I bet that means a lot to Dolly too, because that means a lot to me when people are like, they'll talk to me and then at the end they'll be like, I knew that you were the person that I thought you were, And I'm like, yes, I'm the person that you thought I was because I am me. But like when you see people on TV, you don't always know,
right.
And it's really feels very validating to me that people really get it, that I'm just a normal person and I am who I am on and off. And it's such a compliment to me that people see me for who I am. That means a lot to me. But it's just like anything else. Like the fame is honestly, it's like, just like, this is why I'm not bothered by the hate on the internet or the love on the internet. I don't let it affect me because I know who I am at my core and my foundation. And that's all just the positive stuff's a bonus. And the negative stuff just comes along with it. And none of it really defines me. And honestly, at the end of the day, negative or positive, I am so thankful because all of those people giving a shit in any direction are the reason I have a job.
Wow. That's such a great way to see. It's funny because you're talking about being approachable or not being approachable. I remember this interview. I have 2 interviews that are in my head right now. One was Oprah Winfrey and Sharon Stone, and it was back in the 90s. I always had a allure. It's allure. Fame always had an allure to me. I
think that's normal.
Imagined myself like being famous, and
that's
and
cool.
so I was always interested when people would talk about being famous. And I remember in this interview, and it was early. This was in the 90s, and Oprah hadn't become God. She was still doing the talk. She was super popular, but she wasn't like, she's gone into some other thing now where
she's like, she's American royalty.
She is, and rightfully so.
Oh, yeah.
I think she has almost single-handedly done things for this country and the world that, would be, it doesn't, nobody can equal that.
Oprah should be the president. I would get behind that.
I think she would be if she wanted to be. I mean,
I wish she would. I wish she would want that.
I think she knows that that's not as fun as it
No, it's a real shit job. Actually, who's applying? I would love to see why people are still putting in applications for that, because I don't know. Yeah, but
so she was talking to Sharon Stone. It was when Sharon Stone was having this big moment, and Oprah said, "God, it must be so weird for you to go out in public and people just come up to you all the time." And Sharon Stone said, "People don't come up to me." And she said, "What do you mean people don't recognize you?" She said, "No, people recognize me, but they don't come up to me because people don't approach movie stars."
It's intimidating.
They're scared.
Yeah, it is scary. I can't do it. I can't go up to anybody.
Me either.
Nobody.
In that regard, I can't do it. But
I can't go up to anybody.
Oprah made such a good point that brought me back to what I was saying about us being more, we're ourselves. And so what people see is just us. And Oprah said, "Wow, that is funny because everyone comes up to me."
Because they feel like they know her.
Right.
Yeah. And they do.
And
to a certain extent.
Well, I definitely feel that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always thought, God, if I could just talk to Oprah. I mean,
right?
But at this point, what are you going to say to Oprah? I mean, I would have to be in a situation where I really got to have a conversation with her. I just don't think there's anything someone could say to her. I don't know what I could come up with that would be better than.
Because you feel like it has to be clever, right?
Well, because you want to do something memorable.
Right.
But imagine the pressure.
She's not going to remember you
Imagine
anyway.
the pressure on her.
I know. To be Oprah in a moment like that.
That every person expects that they're going to have a moment with you. It's like a Oprah.
Right.
They want to have a Oprah.
And she's just like, "Hi."
Yeah. I mean, if that, I would, if I was that sought, I think I'd probably just
a lot of pressure.
You probably just keep your very good friends close.
Right.
But the other interview I was thinking of that I have to mention is back on Dolly Parton. So when I said that thing a while ago about I had a dream of being famous, like that sounded fun to me. I see both sides of my friends that are truly famous. I see both sides. I've gotten to do it in a way that has been very fun because I have anonymity and I can do whatever I want. But there are these moments where people give me attention. That's fun. But there was this interview back in the 70s and it's Barbara Walters. I would look it up and it's Barbara Walters interviewing Dolly Parton, and she's about to be a huge star. Like this, she's having hits and things, but this is before she was a movie star. And Dolly Parton says, "I want to be a superstar. I want to go in any room and people say, that's Dolly Parton and I like her music." And Barbara Walters tried to sort of catch her by going, a lot of people would say that's shallow, that you want to just be famous. And Dolly, the answer is so amazing, and it actually speaks to what you and I are talking about. She said, "When I was a little girl, we had nothing. And I knew early on that it was my gift to make people feel good. And I want to make as many people feel good in this world as I can." And that was it.
I know. And it's such a great goal then. Like with that behind it, that puts real teeth in it, right? To now set this goal. I want to be a superstar because I want to reach as many people as I can to spread a positive message.
She said, "I was given a gift and I've known it. And she went on about like this gift of music, this gift of personality, this gift of heart. She
and self-confidence.
And
she's a real role model for women. I mean, to be able to put that out there and say that and say, look, I got it.
Yeah.
And it's something positive and great. And I'm going to spread it all over as many people as I can. I can only hope that my daughter feels that way, you know?
And to not in any way apologize for it.
Because you shouldn't.
No.
Why would you apologize for wanting to spread love and light all over as many people as possible? I mean, that's the thing about fame, right? It's like it is a popularity contest, and some people, you know, you get dealt the hand, and some people are delivering a positive message, and some people, you know, they're not.
Yeah.
And I would rather as many people who are delivering the positive message to get. And also, you know what, generally, and it's kind of sad, but I do kind of feel this way, and not in every instance, because most people with like a talent or whatever, they shine and they go up, but like people delivering positive messages, it's way less attractive sometimes. And, you know,
I think it's coming around.
I hope so.
I do.
You know,
I feel like it's coming around. I think
even in my realm, the most successful women on the show are
people that are positive.
No,
people that are mean.
Yes, like
sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah.
No, that makes more sense to me.
You know what I'm saying?
But I
so
think,
it's hard.
but I also think people.
But I don't want to sell my soul for it. I'm not going to sacrifice my integrity.
And by the
it.
way, I do forget at times because I am so into the Housewives. I think of it as like a soap opera.
Yeah.
So a lot of times that the ones that are not as nice.
Oh yeah, because they're the great
They draw
villains.
me in, but I don't have the affinity. I don't like.
Right.
I feel like it doesn't make me like them, but I know it's probably the reason I'm watching.
Yeah, and that's why they're retained.
And that's the social media thing. Mm-hmm. But I do think as I watch more and more, the positive is rising.
Yeah.
Because I think we've bottomed out. I mean, people
really
are
did
just
rock
like
bottom, man, the last couple of years.
It's like, how much meaner can we all be? And I don't mean we, you and me. I just mean as a society.
As a society. Yeah, you're totally right.
And I think that people are starting to, and maybe it's just because I've chosen to look at it, and you definitely invite what you look at more of. So I think on social media, I'm seeing more positive messages. I think
because we're exhausted as a society. We're tired. We're exhausted.
I get so into things that are positive on social media.
Me
now.
too.
And those like people doing great things or like helping someone.
Right.
Oh, I just sit there and cry.
I know when they give out the free money.
The money.
Oh, it's great. I would watch people give away money all day. It's the best. And when they cry, when they do the nice thing, even though they don't have money, and then they do the nice thing and then they get rewarded, and you watch them and they can't even believe it, and they're crying, and then they go to like a baseball game and it makes their whole life and dreams come true. And it's like, I would watch that shit all day.
It is. You know what's funny? And I'm about to say something that's going to sound like I'm saying it to tell you something nice I did that I really didn't tell anyone that I did, but I have to share it because it has to do with this, and maybe it inspires other people to do it. But last Christmas, I was, I don't know, I was inspired to do this, and I went to Walmart, and it was Christmas Eve, where all the people that last minute, or people who've been, maybe they've been saving their money or whatever. And I just stood at the cash registers.
And you paid for their, oh my God, Shane.
I would just run by what it was actually turned into something really, really fun.
That is so freaking nice. I wish I saw that. I wish you recorded it and put it on social media, because I would love to watch that.
Here's the thing. It was tempting, but I wanted to do it
100%
for the right reason. Yeah. And I know I'm telling it now, so it sounds like I'm not, but because of what we're talking about.
No, totally.
But I have to tell you how, because most people won't accept that. They'll say no, but what you do is,
oh, really?
I would go up. It was so fun.
You should have dressed as an elf.
And I was by myself, and I would, I know. Oh my God.
Because then people will accept it.
Because
they'll be
like, funny.
Oh, he's an elf. He's just, yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So what I would do is I would go up, and I would almost make them think I worked there. And the cashiers, they knew me because I was doing it. So they knew what I was doing, but I'd walk up and I'd go, as the person tried to put their card in, because you put your own card in, I would go, oh, this machine's actually messed up. That card won't work in there. And I would put my card in, and I would go, this is the only card that works in there. And then I would just honestly, because it was so at times highly emotional, that I would just I would just try to walk away because I didn't want someone to
because you're
feel,
not doing it
well,
to
because
get that. You're
people-
just doing it to do it. You don't want them to have to break down and be sad or thankful or whatever. You just want
I just
somebody
didn't
to have
want
a
people
happy
to have
thing
to tell me,
happen.
like in
how
some
great
people,
you are for doing that.
Right.
It wasn't about you. It was about them.
Exactly.
That's really nice.
And I just
though.
really wanted them to just know, like this. And you know, some people, I'm sure there were some people that I thought, I really wish you had bought more because
love
I'm
that
up here doing
so
this.
much. I am going to do that, I think, this year, and hopefully I love to show my kids stuff like that,
Yes.
right? I will have to just limit it, maybe like 5 people,
Well,
you know?
honestly,
I got 6 kids,
if you
but
do-
I'm going to do that. That's such a fun
You know
thing
how
to
I got
do.
the idea is somebody was telling me that they used to do, and I don't even have this anymore, but you know, layaway, that they used to all put stuff on layaway and then they would pay it off till Christmas.
Mhm.
And this songwriter that I knew in Nashville, he used to go to Walmart and he wouldn't even know the people. He would go to layaway and he would pay
all
off
the
like
layaways.
as
Oh my
many
God,
as
I love
he
people.
could. And then they would come to pick it up and it would be paid off.
And we need to hear more of this because we
Yeah.
don't hear this enough,
Yeah.
and we only are hearing the negative. And this like my body's like having a natural response to this. I don't know if I want to like keep smiling or crying because like it really is so nice, and like there really are very good people in the world, you know,
absolutely.
and we just don't often, most of the time, we're just not showcasing it. The media has become a lot of just like, let's show the negative, and then we're all shocked when like we're all angry and negative.
Remember how you said earlier that the it doesn't define us. I mean, no single moment does.
No.
But in social media and in the world of reality, it does.
It does.
Because
And
what they do is
yeah.
they show that same moment when
Right,
someone
over and over and over.
when
and
someone
over.
wasn't their best.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, I would love to, even in talking about this, I feel like I want to do better by those things. I want
also,
to.
it's really important, like with our kids. Like I have a similar story, not like that. That's like a whole nother level. But like I was in Orange County and I was with my kids, my 3 kids, and we were leaving a supermarket, and it was like before Thanksgiving, and it just, you know, I like to, if I rarely have cash. I had cash.
Yeah.
We saw in the supermarket, there was a homeless man. You could obviously tell because he was home, you know, it was bad, you know, you could tell. And then, we were walking out and he had a shopping cart, and his shopping cart was outside. And I didn't even want my kids. I didn't even know my kids saw this. I just it was like $5. I put it on his cart and we kept walking. And my daughter, when we got in the car, goes, "Mommy, why did you leave money on that shopping cart?" And I was like, I explained to them on the ride home, like, because not everybody, you know, the value of not everybody has a roof over their heads. How lucky we are to even just have that, right?
Yeah.
Because it's such a basic level thing that a lot of people don't have. And if I can just help a little bit, it makes mommy feel good. And that's what we should all do as people, to help each other. And honestly, it was a weird thing because actually it wasn't Sienna who asked. It was my son who asked, Nicholas, because he's always in all my business, you know? So he asked. Sienna was quiet through the whole thing. Luca was asking, he was little. He was asking random questions that had nothing to do with it. We got home. I didn't think anything else of it. And I was like really trying to hammer into my son because I want him to absorb these things, you know, because he's the oldest and he's also like the most like doesn't get it kind of one. Sienna was just quiet. So I didn't think she was even paying attention. That evening, we were with our friends and we were all out hanging out. It was the night we had our own Friendsgiving. And we're setting up the tables and da-da-da-da-da. And then the next thing you know, one of my friends comes up to me and goes, "Oh my gosh, Sienna is like," she went in the house and like squeezed all these lemons and she was selling lemonade to our friends. And I was like, for money though. And I was like, what? Like we're at Friendsgiving and she's hustling for money from our friend. Like what happened here? And I was like, this is so not like Sienna. Like I have no idea what that is, but I'm going to get her to give all the money back. Da 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 da. Go and talk to Sienna. And I was like, "Sienna, what are you doing?" And she goes, "Mommy, I'm trying to get money for the people without the homes."
Oh, but see, look what you did.
And I was like, you know, like they really are listening and watching. And that really hit her hard, you know, and our kids need to know these things because the reality is not everybody has what we have. And I feel very fortunate and lucky to have all the opportunities that I've had in life, good and bad, because they're all learning lessons and that you really can teach your kids like such amazing, positive, basic things that helps them to become good humans.
Yeah.
And like, that's the goal, right?
Well, On a lighter note, speaking about
love lighter notes. Can we please? I'm about to cry. I don't know if I'm happy or sad.
Well, talking about the kids, my kids they are obsessed with I don't say they're obsessed with fame. They have this in and out obsession with like whether or not I'm famous. Okay. And they love to rank me. Oh. Like they'll be like, are you more famous than this person?
That's hysterical.
Of course, I'm always like, no.
No. It's mostly no's.
It's always no's if it's somebody they've heard of. But we recently, this is so great, talking about, getting caught up or thinking that you're thinking, oh, look, people are recognizing me. I was at Kelsey Ballerini's show.
Cool.
As an artist I work a lot with, and she came through Santa Barbara. It was actually amazing. It's a beautiful venue there. Great show. And they're so nice to me, her crew and everybody. And the kids are back there and they're just enamored with the fact that Kelsey is making a big deal about us being there and taking pictures.
Aww,
and so
love her for that.
felt, she just makes you feel like $1 million. So
gotta hang out with her.
She really does. So we went out to watch the show. And in her world, because I've worked with her so much, she has rabid fans. And a lot of her fans know everything about her. So they know me.
They're ballerinis.
Yes. And they know that I work with her and they'll stop me or whatever. And so the kids are like seeing people say hi to me and everything. And, I'm feeling myself. I'm like, my kids are getting to see this. I'm feeling pretty cool.
Flexing a little bit.
Yeah. So this guy comes up to me and says, I'm really sorry to bother you, but my wife wants to take a picture. And I was like, oh, of course. So I step
oh my God, stop that.
next to his wife and he looks at me so confused because he was asking me to take a picture of them. He did not know who I was, or it just happened to be in the middle of all these people who I had just sort of gotten in the flow of like all these people recognizing
famous.
me.
You're like, well, this is it.
He hands me his phone and he's like standing there waiting for me to take their picture. And of course, I try very hard to shake it off and not look like I thought.
As you're sweating profusely.
But the greatest part is that my kids saw it.
They'll make fun of you for the rest of your life.
They were like, Dad, you thought that guy wanted a picture of you. And so it was a pretty amazing way.
I couldn't love that more. There's leveled to get leveled.
Oh, my kids will level.
Oh, me too. My kids make fun of me all the time.
We just opened that Broadway show and it was on the performance was on the Tony Shucked. Please go and buy tickets.
I've gotten shucked. Actually, when I was in the airport going through, I forgot because I travel with a little Smack backpack and I have the pin on it, right? And I'm traveling because he just put it on there. It looks cute or whatever. And the guy at security was like, he had a heavy accent because we were coming out of Nashville. And he's like, you got shooked. And I had no idea what he was talking about. And I was like, excuse me? And he's like, you got shooked. And shooked. And I was like, and then he goes, your pin. And I go, oh yes, I got shocked. Yes, sir. Like,
oh my God,
so
that's
funny.
Hilarious.
Yes.
That's like when you wear a t-shirt or something, you forget and people are like, oh, are you from Oklahoma?
Right.
And I'm like, no, why? Oh, and you look down and you don't realize you've had a sweatshirt on. But anyway, the kids watched the Tony Awards. They stayed up super late. And
that's amazing.
And in my particular category, we did not win. We won Tony's for the show or a Tony for the show. But they're looking for me.
Yeah.
And I told them because I thought we were going to win. I told them, I was like, watch for Dad. And they waited and waited and waited and waited. And then the show had a performance from Shucked. They got to perform a song.
That's incredible.
And after the song was over, they put the camera on me for 2 seconds. Like that, I'm just in the audience clapping and they saw me. Boy, my kids, I was like, did you see Dad on TV? He was like, well, I mean, for like 2 seconds.
Oh my God. They're like, we waited up for this shit.
Yeah, we are supposed to be getting up for camp in the morning. Dad, don't keep us up for that. You can record it.
Oh my God. I love it. That is though, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's pretty major. Just the whole thing in general, I feel like it's such a huge accomplishment. I remember seeing you in New York when we were recording a couple and you even fitting that in. I mean, that, first of all, just how hard you worked, it was exhausting. Like I know that just seeing you, like how you were in that like real thick of it during the previews and everything, and it's had huge levels of success and it is phenomenal, and it did earn a Tony Award already. I mean, and it just came out. I mean, like that's so incredible. I'm surprised they didn't pan to you when you even if they pan to you when you lost.
Well,
that's fun too.
The truth is that's because, and this is usually true for the writers, they give those awards beforehand. So I didn't know that.
Yeah.
When I told the kids to look for me,
that it wasn't
I didn't
even
realize
on the docket.
But by the time they even saw the show, I already knew I had lost. So I didn't even want to tell them. I just made them sit there and watch the whole thing. Even though I knew I was never going to be on.
At least you're freaking there.
Yeah, no, trust me, it is not.
It's like I don't even get invited to there's like unscripted reality TV awards. I don't even get a fucking ticket. I can't even go as an audience member. That shit. So you're doing something right. All right.
Well, we're both doing something right. Look what we're getting to do.
We're crushing it.
And I love doing this.
I
Thank you
do
for talking to me.
I know, it's fun.
I don't know who's listening, but you know what? Whoever is listening, I just appreciate it.
Yes, we appreciate you.
That's right.
We love talking and sharing with you. We love laughing with you and letting you laugh at us.
Yes, because we are having a ball.
We are. So keep doing that and keep joining us for Orange Country. And please like and subscribe and follow us on all those platforms.
That's right.
We're here for you.
See you soon.